BFDI is a huge show, but at the start, it looked like this. But how did we get to where we are right now, where there's 5 seasons, a whole crew, and a massive audience? This is the entire history of Battle for Dream Island. In the late 2000s, the jacknjellify channel was created by Carrie and Michael Huang, making videos such as I Can Make a Difference and X Finds Out His Value. This is where we get introduced to 4, X, and the rest of the numbers. They are called algebraians. At this point, Carrie and Michael were in the 5th grade, and Carrie decided to draw a little fire drawing on one of his assignments. This was Fiery, the first BFDI character ever made. Following Fiery, we got Woody and Teardrop, because Carrie was making a comic out of these characters. And the premise of the first BFDI comic ever is just all the characters being able to progressively take out the other based on what object they were. So in this case, Fiery could beat Woody, but Teardrop could beat Fiery because water beats fire. To clear Teardrop, Spongy came in. And to beat Spongy, Match came in. And that was the first generation of BFDI characters. Gen 2 introduced Pencil, Eraser, and Bubble, while Gen 3 introduced Coiny, Tennis Ball, Flower, and Ice Cube. Gen 4 introduced Blocky, Snowball, Rocky, and Golf Ball. Now Gen 5 is where it gets a bit more interesting because all the characters in Gen 5 were specifically made for the first season of BFDI. Introducing Needle, Pen, Leafy, and Pin. Fast forwarding to the summer of 2009, and Carrie and Michael got the idea for BFDI based on a later comic Carrie made called Total Fiery Island. Carrie and Michael got to work, and after a few months of non-stop writing, voice acting, audio editing, and animating 17 minutes, the first ever BFDI episode was released on January 1st, 2010. Michael then woke Carrie up on January 1st and told him that they got their first vote in BFDI history. It was from Jay Silly Boy saying Flower goes away. And in the middle of BFDI Season 1, the second or third object show was released, being Inanimate Insanity. Carrie and Michael kept pushing through episode after episode when I feel like most people in that position would probably give up. Anyway, but Carrie and Michael didn't. They pushed through, making 25 entire fully animated episodes in 2 years. At the end of BFDI 25, the text reads, "A season 2 won't happen. Not on this channel," which was a very big lie, because once the YouTube monetization program switched from views to watch time, they were able to give BFDI a second chance in season 2. On June 29th, 2012, BFDI started with BFDI 1, Yahoo I Wanna Know. With the announcer gone after the events of BFDI 25, TV is the temporary host. This episode was also the first episode not uploaded on the 1st of the month. Right after that, on August 1st, 2012, BFDIA 2, Get Digging was released with the first ever newbie getting eliminated, being Donut. After BFDIA 2's release, Carrie and Michael entered sophomore year of high school. But even with that, they were still on a roll with releasing some pretty good episodes of BFDIA, and they just kept going, releasing BFDIA 3 and BFDIA 4 in late 2012. BFDIA 5A celebrated BFDI's 3rd birthday. BFDIA 5A was also the longest episode in the whole series up to that point. BFDIA 5B was a game which introduced 3 characters we never saw again, aka Lego Brick, Toon, and Waffle. BFDIA 5B is still played by a good amount of OC members even to this day. Moving on, they grinded out the last 3 parts of BFDIA 5, but after BFDIA 5E...
Whoa, where are we?
Welcome to the late 2013 to the early 2016 BFDI era.
Nah, nothing?
Alright, so a quick explanation on this time period is that during junior year of high school, Carrie and Michael were very busy with school, as well as the two not feeling too motivated to work on it. And this fact was definitely amplified when in March of 2014 their AdSense account got shut down, which is how you make money from ads on YouTube. Carrie and Michael sent multiple appeals trying to get their AdSense account back up, but nothing they did worked. Well, until it did. Michael uploaded a video on March 3rd, 2016 called Why We've Had to Stop Animating on YouTube. In this video, Michael expresses the frustrations both him and Carrie had for not getting a single penny's worth of profit from the millions of views they received on their videos. Thankfully though, a goated Google employee saw Michael's video and reinstated their AdSense account. So in summer of 2016, it was officially announced that BFDI was back. But was it really though? Spoiler alert, it wasn't. IDFB 1 dropped on September 1st, 2016, and while I think it gets praised nowadays, it wasn't very expected to say the least in 2016, but it was a really nice return to BFDI, with really high quality polished animation. Sadly, that may have been the very thing that killed IDFB. Along with the Huang twins being busy with college, IDFB 2's original release date of October 1st, 2016 was further delayed to December 1st, 2016, and when December 1st, 2016 came, there was no IDFB 2 to be found. Entering 2017, Carrie was focusing more and more on Carrie Cage videos in the start of the year, but in the summer of that year, Carrie and Michael had a thought. They were like, you know IDFB? Yeah. How about we just skip it and move on to the 4th season where quality doesn't matter as much and we can just make low stakes episodes just like we did in early BFDI. Yeah, sure, man. Carrie and Michael then began working on BFDI's 4th season, but felt like they could use an extra hand to help out. This is where Satomi comes in. Previously working with Carrie on some of his Carrie Cage videos, Satomi would write, voice act, animate, and sometimes edit BFB episodes. Carrie also asked some of his Stanford friends to voice act some characters like Catherine, Sabrina, and more. BFB released on November 3rd, 2017, and the start of the season basically started a whole new era for the BFDI community, also known as the OSC. More and more creators started rising like Animation Object Show, for example. But wait, who are these two new weird alien number hosts?
Excuse me, that's 4 and X, in case you didn't know.
I was just about to say that, bro. So shut up! Don't ruin the suspense.
Oh, sorry, man. I didn't know.
The suspense! Anywho, BFB had a really good start, and I don't think it was very clear to the fan base that BFB was supposed to be this sloppy, kind of low-effort season, because over BFB's first few months, people started getting their standards for BFB episodes up and up and up, and it was definitely showing based on how the episodes went from taking 2 to 3 weeks to taking sometimes 4 to 6 weeks to make, based on what I would assume was the constant pressure from fans to keep making better and better episodes on a regular basis, with a very small team, which is definitely not reasonable, which is why after BFB 12 there were very little updates about BFB and we wouldn't see BFB's 13th episode until a whole year later, and it was definitely worth it back then. It was a really good time to be in the community because right after BFB 13's release, the first ever BFDI plush was unveiled at the 2019 BFDI meetup. Now about BFB 14, it was originally planned to be released on August 7, 2019, although it got pushed back to August 14, 2019, but then got pushed back again to August 24, 2019. And it was super agonizing having to see all those delays, but man was it worth it. As BFB 14 was and still is a very good episode that was worth the wait in its entirety. After BFB 14's release, Carrie would leave the US to Japan to study abroad. For BFB 15, Satomi and Pokey would take over as pretty much the main directors of BFB 15. Once Carrie returned to the US, him and Michael decided they wanted a more lighthearted, fast turnaround BFDI, but still wanted to satisfy the fans who wanted the character development and high quality animation. Thus, post-split BFB and TPOT were born. And when BFB 16 dropped on March 25th, 2020, people were outraged at this decision.
What? But 4 and X got to be together, and 2 is a meanie head, so I hate them. And I want everyone together, and 2 sucks, by the way.
Oh yeah, there's also 2, voiced by Zany Lee. Yeah, not the most well-received thing to ever happen, but this is where Carrie and Michael hired around 40 people to help write, audio edit, design props, draw backgrounds, and animate, all for post-split BFB. And post-split's quality is hated a bit too much. Like, the whole point of it is to be a more light-hearted, sloppy version of BFB. And for what it was, I thought it was a pretty fun time to be watching BFDI stuff. Plus, in the middle of it, TPOT started, which I'll get to in a second, but jacknjellify finally finished another season of BFDI after 9 years, and Flower won. But now it's time for... Now we're pretty much where we are now, where TPOT and BFDIA episodes come out every 2 months or so. Oh yeah, BFDIA 6 came out on September 1st, 2023, which is insane because it was 10 years late. And with TPOT episodes getting better and better, I have no doubt that BFDI will keep going for many years to come. But even with all of that, one day the BFDI story might come to an end. But the amount of amazing, memorable BFDI moments will be cherished by so many people for many, many more years to come. So this one goes out to Carrie and Michael. Thank you!